There's just so much. I just want to do say that statement from the Harris White House or from Harris was really intriguing about President Trump almost bringing us to a recession. We were in a recession under President Trump, but it was because of COVID. Here's the thing, though. The actions that were taken led us to the shortest recession in history. This is a different type of recession that we're in the cusp of right now. This is not because of a once-in-a-century element that no one saw coming and had to lock down an entire global economy. This is because of policies that triggered 40-year high inflation that have now taken a massive toll on the economy. Now, here's what's happening. This jobs report, this was a referendum, really, the market reaction on Jay Powell. I would say 60% of what we're looking at right now is on Jay Powell. Comes at his head of the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve, their job was to quell inflation, and their job is to sort of unwind what they've done. They're really taking a deliberate steps to kind of back off on that. I think another 20% would be growth. Growth is slowing a lot faster than anyone thought or expected. Some did, I did, but, the experts, did not. There's
Charles,
a funny thing.
Can I just stop you there? Because it seems like the economy has just catapulted itself to the top of the list. It had been there before, but really it just seems like it's prominent. And here's the difference. Changes in wages and inflation since the Biden-Harris administration. Inflation's up more than 21%, right. And real wages are down about 2%.
That's real life stuff. That's real life stuff. I mean, and that's why... what they print and they talk about in terms of, hey, the GDP was this and that, it does not matter. The main focus here was all of the money that not only did Biden and Harris pump into the economy, that continue to gush in. And ironically, they brag about things like the Inflation Reduction Act. That's stoking inflation. They brag about all the money that they're giving the world's richest corporations to build factories here. Well, guess what? We gave $8.5 billion to Intel. You know what we got in return? They're going to get rid of 15,000 workers. Is that smart? Is that really brilliant? Is that what we should be doing with taxpayer money? Stoking inflation and losing jobs? It's nuts. What you're seeing right now in the stock market is what Americans have been feeling for the last 3 years. It's just a manifestation of it right now.
So how do we, every American private citizen out there, how do we brace for a pending recession rather than things getting better? Maybe they're going to get a whole lot worse.
You use the right word, brace. You have to brace for it, right? I mean, and here's what I'm concerned about. Unfortunately, the savings rate has come down dramatically. We're well under 4% right now. More recently, people have started to really scamp. Listen to what corporations are saying. Last week, we had Wayfair talk about the great financial crisis. We had Five Below saying disproportionately, they've never seen anything like this, where the weight of inflation has crushed their low-income customers, and they're seeing more upper-income households shop there. Again, a deep discount store. All you can do in this environment is brace for something like this.
Two things here is Kamala Harris. She hasn't done an interview yet. Hasn't held a press conference. We think we'll get a VP pick maybe within 12 hours, 24 hours. We'll see. But here she was in Atlanta last week on this economy.
Building up the middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency. And yes, it is true that by many indicators, our economy is the strongest in the world. But while inflation is down and wages are up, prices are still too high. You know it and I know it.
So who's going to give voice to this the best? Wall Street Journal, here we go. Ultimately, the core of this election is about economic issues. This is a Republican pollster by the name of David Winston. Every time you're not talking about that, you're missing an opportunity to engage independent voters. Independents always decide who wins elections. When our poll came out last week in Michigan, Trump led over Harris by 8 points on independents. I don't know if it stays that way or if it goes higher. I'm not sure.
The jobs report tells you it's going to stay that way because real life, what people are enduring, no matter what this administration says, it's tough. It really is tough. And by the way, two other things I got to point out.
Please.
Geopolitical issues are really becoming very frightening. And you saw all those planes out of Russia into Iran over the weekend. Those are the type of planes that carry military hardware. Of course, we moved in a battleship and we're moving in another fighter squadron. And
Can you even imagine how much U.S. defending Israel against a regional war and a war with Iran is going to cost?
And the implications in terms of anxiety and fear. And, these things bubble up. They get bigger. They become larger. You go from a small regional thing. It has been totally mismanaged. There's no foreign policy. The only thing we've heard so far in the last 3 or 4 weeks from the White House is finger wagging at Israel. That's not foreign policy, right? And I think it's encouraged Iran and some of the bad actors. And also the stock market was reflecting a Trump victory, particularly small cap stocks, because they're domestic companies. They have come down dramatically since Harris has gone up in a poll. They have crashed.
Charles, thank you. We'll see you at 2 o'clock in Fox Business. All right.
Thanks.